Hey guys, what's going on, dudes? It is David here. We are back with another video. Now, in this video, guys, we shall be discussing or giving you my early season predictions for the NASCAR 2022 playoffs. Now, some things to think about before we get into the playoffs and the drivers I think are going to make the playoffs. This is going to be a whole new car. It's the NASCAR Next Gen car that'll be debuting this year, coming early at the LA Coliseum in, I think it's the second week in February, the second or third week in February. Now, also when it comes to this season, there's going to be some drivers, some new teams. There's going to be some rookie drivers, some new teams, but I don't really think there's going to be a rookie that makes it into the playoffs just due to the fact that the rookies in the past haven't always had a very good rookie season. I mean, look at what Chase Briscoe happened last season when he was in a rookie season. He didn't even make the playoffs, and he won the Xfinity Series 9 times the season before, and he didn't even make the playoffs in his first season as a NASCAR Cup Series driver. But enough of that. Let's get into the drivers that I think are going to be battling out for the playoffs, and then I'll give you my championship 4 predictions for the final race in Phoenix, Arizona. So, the first 8 drivers I think are all locks to be in playoffs. That is Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick, Denny Hamlin, Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, Joey Logano, Martin Truex Jr., and Christopher Bell. Kyle Busch won 2 races last season. Had an average kind of season in terms of a Busch season, but really it was the Hendrick Motorsports car that Hendrick Motorsports had just went out and dominated the field. I mean, Hendrick Motorsports ended up taking, 16 wins, 17 wins out of the total of 36 races, so they basically took half. And most of that was from Kyle Larson, so Kyle Larson's going to be an obvious point. Let me get into Kyle Larson real quick. Kyle Larson is the defending NASCAR Cup Series champion. So when it comes to this season, he's definitely going to be odds-on favorite to go back-to-back. But since the NASCAR players have been introduced ever since 2014, we haven't had a back-to-back champion in terms of NASCAR, so that's going to be very interesting to see. Kevin Harvick. Back to Kevin Harvick, the second driver I think that's going to be easy luck. Kevin Harvick had no wins last season. The leader of the Stewart-Haas racing team, the best driver on that team, had no wins. He was the other driver that made the playoffs, which was Eric Almirola, who ended up winning New Hampshire, was the only one from Stewart-Haas Racing to get a win. Obviously, Chase Briscoe was in his rookie season, and I don't know what's going on with Cole Custer. Cole Custer had a lot of potential going on for him when he reached the Cup Series, and he hasn't really done anything since he's been in the Cup Series, so we don't really know what's happening with him. But I think Kevin Harvick is going to bounce back, and I think Kevin Harvick is going to get multiple wins this season. I feel like he's going to come on with a chip on his shoulder, not knowing that he can't be as bad as he was last season, considering he didn't win a single race. He made the playoffs, but he didn't win a single race, so he can't be worse than that. I mean, yeah, it can be worse, but is Kevin Harvick really going to miss the playoffs? I highly doubt that. So that's the reason why I have Kevin Harvick as my second lock for the playoffs. Denny Hamlin was the third best car last year behind Martin Truex Jr., behind Kyle Larson. So Denny Hamlin's definitely going to be there. Kyle Larson, I've already talked about him, defending Cup Series champion. He's definitely going to be back. Chase Elliott was the 2020 Cup Series champion. He'll be back after only winning 2 races last season, which is I would probably say a worse season than this Cup Series championship season, but I didn't think that Chase Elliott was going to go back-to-back in general. Joey Logano, the leader of the Penske Racing team last season, had 1 win. And Penske only had, the leader of the Penske Racing team was actually Ryan Blaney. Ryan Blaney had 3 wins. He had the most wins out of all the Penske teammates that were there with Brad Keselowski and Joey Logano. So that's very interesting to see what Blaney leading the team last season. But Logano is going to be a playoff. He's definitely going to make the playoffs. Martin Truex Jr., 4 wins last season. He's definitely going to make the playoffs. Christopher Bell had 1 win, which is at the Daytona Road Course, I want to say. I think it was at the Daytona Road Course that he won. Yeah, it was a Daytona Road Course that he won. Ended up making the playoffs. I think he'll be back. He's in Joe Gibbs Racing Equipment. Joe Gibbs Racing Equipment had kind of a down year. I would say they were second best to Hendrick Motorsports, but I think it's going to get better. Kurt Busch. Number 9, Kurt Busch. Actually, you know what? Before we get on to Kurt Busch, let's get into the other drivers I think are going to be locks. William Byron, I think, is going to be a lock. William Byron ended up winning Homestead from last season, made the playoffs, probably his best season, so he's definitely got to pick up on that. And considering how Hendrick Motorsports is doing so well this season, I expect William Byron to pull off multiple wins when it comes to the season of the NASCAR season. Ryan Blaney, 3 wins. I expect them to continue on that, and I expect that Ryan Blaney to get multiple wins. Probably the same amount of number, or probably at least 2 wins. I don't really see him getting more than 3 wins, considering Joey Logano had a down year, and Joey Logano is the 2018 NASCAR champion. So, yeah, I don't really see Ryan Blaney getting more than 3 wins. Alex Bowman, 4 races last season, the second best driver at Hendrick Motorsports. I want to say he can do as well as this, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think both his teammates, Byron and Chase Elliott, are definitely going to get back on schedule. Chase Elliott had 2 wins, which is not usual Chase Elliott season, because Chase Elliott usually has at least 3 to 4 wins, or possibly even 5 wins. So Chase Elliott is definitely going to bounce back, and I feel like there's going to be a lot more contenders to battle for wins. So I don't think Bowman's going to be there, but I think Bowman's going to definitely make the playoffs. And then we get into the playoff drivers that is going to be really, really debatable in terms of the NASCAR season coming up. First one I want to talk about is Kurt Busch. Kurt Busch made the playoffs last season for Chip Ganassi Racing. He was the only Chip Ganassi Racing car to make the playoffs last season. This season, he's on for 2311 Racing, driving the number 45. But I just want to say this. Now that Kurt Busch has a actual stable condition in a team like 2311, and not only that, he's kind of with his brother Kyle Busch, who races for Joe Gibbs Racing, who is an affiliated team of 2311, considering Denny Hamlin, a driver of Joe Gibbs Racing, owns a part of that team. This is just going to mean that Kyle Busch and Kurt Busch are just going to grow closer together and be able to work closer together. And also, I think this is going to be Kurt Busch's best opportunity to be in a championship winning car, or possibly even Final Four winning car. Since forever, since his 2004 championship season with Roush Fenway Racing, since then has Kurt Busch really been in a championship position with any team that he's been in? Not really. So this is going to be Kurt Busch's best opportunity to get multiple wins. I think Kurt Busch does make the playoffs, and I think Kurt Busch has a very good season for 2311. I think he's going to be the lead driver in that team. Even though this is his rookie season with the team, I think he's going to be the lead driver there. Brad Keselowski is a driver that I would normally have on this list, considering he was with Penske Racing, but now he's with RFK Racing, which is kind of a step down, but it's kind of a step up because he became a part owner team, and now it's called RFK Racing. So this is going to be interesting. I think I'm going to have Keselowski make the playoffs just because of the driver that he is, and just because of what he can do in the car and wheel that car. And considering that all these cars are going to be kind of the same, I think Brad Keselowski is definitely going to be able to get the best out of the RFK Racing number 6 car. So Brad Keselowski will definitely be making the playoffs for the 2022 NASCAR Cup Series season. Now the final 3. I mentioned 13 drivers so far. It's time to get on to the final 3. Tyler Reddick made the playoffs last season with 0 wins. I think Tyler Reddick is going to have a breakout season. I think Tyler Reddick is going to get at least 1 or 2 wins this season, and Tyler Reddick will make the playoffs this season. But these last 2 are going to be the most debatable ones, and they're going to be the most looked at ones when it comes playoff time, and in Daytona, where the playoff field will be set. 15th place, I have Chase Briscoe. Chase Briscoe, disappointing rookie season considering the amount of hype that was on him after winning 9 races in the Xfinity Series season, the season before he became a rookie last year. I feel like now he's going to be more familiar with the 14. He almost won the road course at Indianapolis, so that would have been a perfect way for him to get in the chase. That was his last opportunity to get in the chase. The playoffs. Not the chase anymore, the playoffs for NASCAR 2021 season. But I think that this is going to be a definite bounce back season for Chase Briscoe. And I feel like Chase Briscoe will end up making the playoffs. Now, this is the position that we all know is going to be the most looked at when it comes to Daytona time. And I really was debating between 2 drivers. 2 drivers making this final spot. I have Chastain finishing in 20th. He finished 20th last year. I have Dillon finishing 19th. I feel like Dillon's kind of not a worse season, but like not as good as he did last season. Chris Buescher, who ended up finishing 19th, will have a one spot better position considering Matt DiBenedetto, who finished 18th last year, is not going to be racing in the Cup Series for full-time racing this season, considering he got kicked out for Harrison Burton in 21. I don't have Harrison Burton coming anywhere close to the playoffs because I don't really think that in that 21 in his rookie season, he's going to be ready enough. I mean, if Chase Briscoe had a bad season in a Stewart-Haas racing equipment, then Harrison Burton really have a good season in his first season for, why did I forget their team? What Brothers Racing? Jeez, I don't know why I forgot the team. So the final two drivers I debated with are the guy that started out with 2311, that is Bubba Wallace, and the rookie that is the number 2 driver of Austin Cindric, who will be taking over the number 2 from Brad Keselowski. Now, I'm doing this based on the simple point that he needs to prove this, and he needs to, if not get a win, but he needs to make the playoffs, especially considering I have Kurt Busch making the playoffs, and if he were to miss the playoffs, it would kind of be looking bad, considering his first rookie season, everybody can give him a pass, but his second season, especially if Kurt Busch makes the playoffs, everybody's going to look at him differently. Everybody's going to look at him very, very differently. And I think that Bubba Wallace will end up being that 16th and final driver. So right next to me, I have the full list of the 16 drivers that will be in the NASCAR playoffs for the 2022 Cup Series season. Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick, Denny Hamlin, Kyle Larson, defending NASCAR Cup Series champion, Chase Elliott, Joey Logano, Mark Truex Jr., Christopher Bell, Kurt Busch, William Byron, Ryan Blaney, Brad Keselowski, Alex Bowman, Tyler Reddick, and Chase Briscoe, and then Bubba Wallace getting that 16th and final spot for the NASCAR 2022 Cup Series season. Now, when it comes to the 16 drivers, who's going to be my final 4, and who's my early favorite or early pick to win the NASCAR Cup Series championship? Well, my final 4, the drivers that I have missing out in the final 4, losing out in round 8 and getting eliminated in the round 8, is Denny Hamlin, Chase Elliott, Joey Logano, and I have William Byron making the round of 8 for the first time in his Cup Series career. But unfortunately, those 4 drivers will be eliminated in the round of 8. That means the final 4 drivers would be Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick, Kyle Larson, and Martin Truex Jr. 2 Joe Gibbs, 1 Stewart-Haas, 1 Hendrick. And that means my pick for the 2022 NASCAR Cup Series season, we're going to have a double champion, obviously, because if this is really the final 4, we're obviously going to have a 2-time champion when it comes to the season. And the NASCAR Cup Series champion for the 2022 season, the first year of the next-gen era, shall be the driver of the soon-to-be, not anymore, number 18, M&M's Toyota. Kyle Busch is going to win his 3rd championship in his NASCAR career. I feel like Kyle Busch is going to come back after, having an okay season. Kyle Busch did win 2 races this week, but that's not really a Kyle Busch type of thing. You normally see Kyle Busch win at least 4 or 5 races, but considering the fact that Kyle Larson, I think, is going to have a down season compared to his championship winning season, like Chase Elliott did in 2020 to 2021, I feel like Kyle Busch is going to end up winning the championship. And here's the thing, I don't think Kyle Larson's going to finish second in the championship. I think Kyle Busch is going to beat out Kevin Harvick, and then Kyle Larson will finish 3rd, and 4th place will be Martin Truex Jr. So in terms of my championship predictions, I think Kyle Busch is going to be the NASCAR Cup Series champion for the 2022 season. But anyway, guys, I want to thank you guys for watching this video. I will see you guys all later with another video. But anyway, guys, I want to thank you guys for watching this video. See you guys later. Peace.